time it struck me that there was a wonderful consistency across the generations of students with the empowerment and the self-reliance that this school has nurtured. The class of 1966 was the spawn of a very narrow gene pool. When we arrived in Ojai, many of us were related. We had gone to the same schools or summer camps before. We had family that had attended Thatcher, and the world of 1962 was fairly expected. Our smut year, Paul Fay, the Undersecretary of the Navy, had to call off landing his helicopter on the upper field due to the Cuban Missile Crisis. By our middle school year, Martin Luther King's March on Washington had taken place, and the president was shot and killed in the streets of Dallas. The cultural touchstones that just a few years before started to seem a bit tenuous. When we returned for our lower upper year, the Gulf of Tonkin resolution had been passed, and we were no longer just rattling sabers at superpowers, but fighting guerrilla wars. Something I found myself doing 2 years after I graduated from Thatcher. The free speech movement had started at Berkeley, where the faculty still had to take loyalty oaths, and the students fought for the right to say unacceptable things on campus. Here in this Shangri-La, we pushed the social envelope of what we could get away with, both in traditional ways, such as distilling Listerine in the basement, or new ways, such as dropping acid. Which was still legal at that time. Politically, we started to question the wisdom of our elected leaders. By the time we left Thatcher, the culture wars that we are still fighting today had broken out, and the narrow world we knew when we arrived was no longer. Yet this school, this place, had given us the ability not to be self-satisfied and to trust ourselves with this social and political sea change. I raise a glass to toast the Thatcher School for giving all of us the inner strength to survive a very different world, a place where we can still see ourselves as we were at age 18 and still have the power and drive to leave this world changing for the better. Yeah.